Hi everyone, my name is Serena. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to try something that I've never done before on this channel or ever, and that is a unhaul. The reason why I'm doing it is because I'm running out of shelf space, so I'm just going to get rid of all of the books that I didn't love or I'm not going to reread again, at least for today, because I have a lot of unread old books from like 2010, 2012 that I still haven't read that I probably should unhaul by now, because who knows, maybe I'm never going to read them, but I'm just going to keep those for now since I already have a good stack over here, and maybe do another unhaul in the future. So I was researching online where I could sell my books, because if there was an option to sell my books for like a couple dollars each, why not? And what I found is a bookseller app or website that is called pangobooks. I think it's available only in the US right now, I'm not sure, but I found this site and it is a very easy. You basically just take a picture of your book, scan the barcode behind it, and it'll automatically fill in all of the information. There's the retail price, you can put your price. I'm gonna show you an example of a listing at the end of the video, but for now, here are the books. There's no particular order, I'm just gonna show you guys. The first one is The Haunting of Hill House, the movie tie-in edition. So I read this one a few years ago. I still have to watch the show. I can't believe it. I'm gonna do it eventually. But the reason why I'm unhauling this is I'm never gonna read this again. And I didn't absolutely love it that I wanna keep it. And that's probably the reason for me unhauling most of these books, but that's number one. Next one is My Best Friend's Exorcism. I really like this cover, and this was the first book that I bought with my bookseller discount when I became a bookseller. Again, I'm not gonna read this ever again, and it wasn't one of my favorite books. So this one, same reason, Queenie by Candice Carty-Williams. Never gonna read it again. I read this for my reading books that Dua Lipa read vlog. I'm not gonna tell you guys the synopsis of every single book because it'll take me so long to film this, but this is a horror, and this is I'd like to say it's like not a coming of age, but it's like general fiction about a woman dealing, with life problems, I guess. The Shining by Stephen King, another horror. Am I just not a big fan of horror? I just have to find a good horror book, I feel like. But Stephen King, I read Carrie. I don't own that book, and I didn't love it, but I still wanted to read something else by Stephen King. And I read this one, and again, didn't love it. I do own Pet Sematary. I might read that one. Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. This is a thriller. Another reason why I feel like I'm unhauling a lot of horror and thriller books is because I feel like thriller books especially are like a one and done kind of book or experience, because you read it, you find out what happens, the twists, the turns, and yeah, you don't feel the need to reread it unless you really loved it. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but this is a UK cover, a UK edition, and when I list books that are not like a US edition, I specify that in the description. But yeah, I'm gonna unhaul The Maze Runner and The Scorched Trials by James Dashner, and I don't own the full series, so these gotta go. Another YA book that I'm unhauling is On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. I really like this one. I love The Hate U Give. I love this one when I read it like 10 years ago. I do still own The Hate U Give. It's in Italy. By the way, I have so many books in Italy that I should be unhauling, but they're not here. So one day if I ever like bring them back here, but I still own The Hate You Give. I'm just gonna get rid of this one because I need more space on my shelves. A recent book that I read, Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. Again, I'm never gonna read it again. It was cute. I enjoyed my experience reading it. There are only a couple of memoirs I'm gonna keep, like the Jeanette McCurdy one or the Sam Heughan one, which are both signed, so I'm gonna keep those. This is not signed, so I'm just gonna let it go. Another thriller book, The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. I really love The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, and I'm keeping that one, but this one didn't capture me as much as that one did, so I'm unhauling it. Bird Box by Josh Malerman. I liked it, but am I gonna read it again? Probably not. Last Night at the Telegraph Club. This is a YA fiction novel. It has LGBTQ representation, and I read it I think last year. It was one of my most anticipated reads of one year, or like a 5-star prediction or something like that. It wasn't a 5-star, it was probably a 4, but after a year I don't remember much about it. It was clearly not a favorite if it didn't like stick with me in any way, so I am unhauling it. I'm unhauling it. Next book is Middle Game by Shauna Maguire. This is a fantasy book. It's part of a series that I'm not gonna continue on with. I read this one when I was reading Books and Kayla's favorite books, and this was one of them. I don't know if it's still her favorite book after she read the other books in the series. I'm just never gonna continue on with it, and I'm not gonna reread this one, so I'm hauled. This one makes me sad because the cover is very pretty, but it's The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan Heed. This just wasn't my cup of tea. It wasn't for me, because I don't know why. It's just the story wasn't for me, and again, like Last Night at the Telegraph Club, I don't know if it was because I was getting into a reading slump, but nothing stuck with me either about this book, so it's getting unhauled. Next we have This Is How It Always Is by Laurie Frankel. It is also about an LGBTQ character. It's about a trans character, and in particular their mom, but I'm never gonna read this again. This is general fiction, as well as Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I read and watched the movie, just never gonna read it again, so they gotta go. The next few books are books that they're books in a series that I started and I'm probably not gonna finish, and I own a few books in the series that I haven't started yet, so let's just start with this one. This is an old book. I don't know if you guys remember this one, but it's Glow by Amy Kathleen Ryan. I remember reading this book years ago, and I tend to keep or like want to continue on with book series that make me feel things, and in this case the feeling was anger because of the subject matter, whatever they were talking about, the theme, and it just made me angry and I wanted to continue on. And I'm currently reading the second book. I'm almost done with it. It's Spark. I took the dust jacket off. But it's definitely suffering from middle book syndrome, so I'm probably not going to read the third one, which is Flame. So I'm just going to unhaul all of these. Last book series I'm still not sure about, but I'm probably just going to do it. And that is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. And the reason why I'm unhauling this is because this series is not completed yet. I think 3 or 4 books are out, and she wants to write 7 of them, and I own the first 2. I read this one. I have not read this one, but the reason why I haven't read this one is because when I read this one and the third one, then I have to wait who knows how long for the 4th one, and I don't remember anything about this book, which was written more than 10 years ago, and I read it once it came out, and I don't remember anything. So that's the main reason why I would be unhauling these books, and I know they don't make this edition anymore, so, but I'm probably just gonna do it. That's another thing. If I do continue on, I don't know if I'm gonna buy the other books, and I don't want to own just like 2 out of the 7 books, and they're all different editions. So hopefully that made sense. But yeah, for now, I think that's all. As I said, I have so many books in Italy that I have to unhaul, and I have books that I haven't even read that I probably should be unhauling because they're very old, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna read them. But for now, this is it. And I'm gonna show you how I list a book. I do own a scale. I don't know if you can see it in the corner over there, but you don't need one, because when you list a book, they give you an estimated weight of, you know, the item, and sometimes it's wrong, so make sure you look at it, because I don't remember which book. I think this one, they said it was between 2 and 3 pounds, and it's clearly not. It's under a pound. So you would just adjust that, and yeah, I'm just going to show you guys how to do that. Let's start screen recording. I'm just going to go on pangobooks, and this is my profile. It's not very complete yet at all, but I already have 16 books listed. One of them is in someone's cart, so that's good. But yeah, let's list one that I haven't listed yet. Let's click on sell, and take a picture of it, accept. And then they want you to scan the barcode, make sure it's correct. Yep. Before I forget, I'm gonna take more pictures of it. So the back and the spine. Okay, and then one under the jacket like that. Looks good. My background is probably super messy, but it says Glow is the title, book 1 of the Sky Chasers. I'm not gonna put that in the subtitle because I don't know. I'm gonna put that in description. Paste that. Book 1 of the Sky Chasers. It's by Amy Kathleen Ryan. It's fiction, juvenile fiction. Would you put that in juvenile fiction? I'm just gonna go with YA, right? Yeah, young adult, and it is fiction, young adult, and it's a hardcover. I'm gonna say it's between 1 and 2, just in case, because I think a hardcover is over a pound, like a little bit over a pound. Condition, I'm gonna say, because I always have a hard time telling if it's either good or excellent. I never put like new because, you know, I read them, but my books are always, I'd say, pretty excellent unless there's like a tear in them. But of course, condition is very subjective. Some people think that a little like line in the spine is not excellent condition. I'm just gonna put excellent for this one, and then put some hashtags in there: hardcover, YA, fiction, dystopian, end of the world, I don't know. And what is I always check the retail price because sometimes it's not the same, and this is the same. It's $17.99. I look that up on the book itself, and then since it's an old book, I'm just gonna, because I've been doing like $5 for paperbacks. This is just 18, so I think I'm gonna just do $7 because it's also an old book, but I'm probably gonna lower the price eventually. I'm still figuring things out, but yeah, that looks good, and I'm just going to list it. I made a listing. It's super easy, and once someone buys, it hasn't happened yet, someone has one of my books in their carts, but once someone buys a book, you just print the shipping label, put it on a envelope, and bring it to the post office, and that's it. You have to keep in contact with the buyer, your customer, whatever, and that's it. So yeah, hopefully I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. But yeah, this is my first unhaul ever. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.